Welcome, strangers. Welcome back, peeps, to the next chapter of the Miller's Adventures. Yes, welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing you what I like to call the Toolkit Challenge. Yes, the Toolkit Challenge, strictly going all melee for nothing. That's right. This build has a lot of versatility. What I mean by that, it does have a great cleanse, it does offer great vulnerability, bleeding, as well as great group potential for, I would say blast finishers, might stacking, cleansing, and smacking a lot of people with pry bar as well as your chain skill for your number one in toolkit. Yes, remember this is melee. This is for people who thrive in melee and like to play engineer, but always stick with those grenades and the typical style builds that are boring. Boring. Look at me, I'm evil. I'm like all fiery inside. Anyway, massive heartburn. For your gear, you're gonna go full berserkers, of course, since it is a PvP type of environment. Remember, can't stress this enough. It's not really meant for World vs. World, even roaming, zerging, not even for PvP. This does have some potential for open world bosses as well as group events, but mostly solo. This is just to change up your playstyle and change it and maybe tweak it and maybe give you guys some greater, better ideas for better builds in the future. This is for the now, meaning now, not for the future, because they are changing a lot of the traits as well as combining some of the traits or even adapting some new features for the engineer that will totally make this build completely obsolete. Or maybe not. We'll find out. But right now, this is for the now. And with that being said, you're going to go full berserker, as I said, with everything, even your weapons. You can go rifle, pistol, 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 and shield. Does not matter. Just what does matter is make sure everything's berserker. On top of it, make sure your primary sigil is a superior sigil force. That's a 5% damage increase. You cannot go wrong with that. That helps your toolkit even more, as well as all the rest of your utility skills, except for healing turn, of course. Now, superior sigil of Friday is going to give you a 50% chance on hit to inflict vulnerability for 10 seconds on a 2-second cooldown. That's a 1% damage increase. All the way around, totally phenomenal. Even if with toolkit, it works, it helps, it is totally phenomenal. Now, for your trait system, you're going to go 62024. In tier 1 explosives, you're going to go with shrapnel just to get that extra 15% chance on hit to inflict vulnerability. In tier 2, you're going to go with incendiary powder. The reason why I want incendiary powder is because since I'm using Rune of Flame Legion, because I'm Flame Legion, on the 6th Rune, you have a chance, whenever, not chance, but whenever a target is burning, you have a 7% damage increase against burning foes. Like, that's anything that's burning. So I was like, why not? That's damage increase. It's better than going full 6 in tools just or full 5 just to get enduring damage. It's not even worth it. You will be dodging. Trust me, you will be dodging. And last but not least, explosive powder. The damage increase against explosives. Now, the reason why I went for that, I will show you momentarily of your utilities. In tier 1 of firearms, you're going to precise sights, chance on critical hit to inflict vulnerability for forward half seconds. That's another 1% damage increase coupled with your steel pack powder as well as your rifle sigil of Friday. That it's totally worth it. Totally worth it. With sharpshooter, that's additional bleeding as well as tons of vulnerability, especially coupled with your smack as well as your throw wrench. Has great potential for vulnerability stacking as well as bleeding. Now, for your tier 1 in alchemy, we're going with acidic coating. Is whenever you're struck in melee, you have a 50% chance to trigger a blindness on your target, meaning that will give you more survivability as well as to give off more chain reactions for your number 1, as well as any tool belt skill, as well as your utility skills for that matter, to kill them quicker. Yes, quicker, better. Now, for tier 1 in tools, we're going to go with speedy kits. The reason why is so you can get to the point A faster, so you can, go to the next target, smack them around, go to the next target, smack them around, go to the next target, so on and so forth. And then last but not least, in tier 2, power wrench. So around the best part of this whole tire build, well, almost tire build, is for the reason is that with power wrench, you're going to get 10% damage increase with, pretty much all your abilities that give damage in your tool belt skill, but that's also not including your tool belt skill that has throw wrench, which is also going to mean damage increase as well. But it also has reduced recharge on 2 through 5 in your toolkit skills, and on top of it, a healing effectiveness for your turns. Yes, we will be using 2 turrets in the utilities to for the fundamentals of this build. It's due for the fact is that, well, for one, when you detonate your turrets, they're going to inflict a 15% chance on bleeding, as well as that other chance with below sharpshooter. Then on top of it, you have a chance, 50% chance, as well as critical chances to inflict vulnerability. That's not including the mandatory 1% on vulnerability from steel pack powder. That's going to increase it by 1%, but additional stacks on top of it. So it's additional damage. You can't go wrong with it. Seriously, you can't go wrong. Now for your utilities, healing turret, flame turret, throw mine, toolkit, of course, and supply crate. Now, the reason why I went with healing turret is because it has great conditional removal, especially with its tool belt skill with regenerative mesh, which is a water field. But if you couple that with throw mine, and since you detonate it, it's a blast finisher, that's an additional healing field. The reason why I went with flame turret is because that's an additional source of fire. That's more chances at getting more damage out against burning foes. That's like 7% increase on top of the 5% you get from Sigil of Force. You can't go wrong with that. Now, with that also being said, you can overcharge your flame turret to give yourself a nice combo field smoke. Now, if you detonate it, you're going to get yourself also a stealth field, meaning you're going to go immediately in stealth, which is great if you're in those kind of moments where you're going to die, you want to get out of there so the target can target someone else. This will help you out. Now with the 2+ steel, that's another source of burning. So you have 3 sources of burning. Totally worth it. If you're not going to go with flame agent, you can change out flame turret to go with rifle turret, which is great, especially with it being only an 8 and 1/4 a second versus prior shot in your tool belt skill. Plus the damage is nice. It's 1100. You can't go wrong, and it has a chance at combo finisher for the physical projectile, especially if you have fields up to like proc out other wonderful abilities. Now, secondly, we're going to go with throw mine. The factor with throw mine is that when you throw it, you're going to actually automatically have that one vulnerability. It's automatic, it's unblockable, and it's number 5 targets. And the explosion radius is nice, but the proximity radius is also quite nice, but the range is 900. So you can throw 900 yards away, they'll bounce back, then you can use magnet, pull them right towards you, and just release hell. That's like to say. Release hell. Lots of vulnerability and a lot of bleeding. Hopefully. if RGN's good for you. And last but not least with that is the minefield. Now with the minefield, it is pretty cool. It is really one of those great. If you're going against 5 targets, that's nice. Is due to the fact all of them are going to get vulnerability. But on top of it, they'll have a 15% chance to get that bleeding, and as well as get additional stacks of vulnerability from your sigil as well as the rest of your trait line. That's not including steel. That's including with steel pack powder. So it's quite impressive. It really is. It is quite impressive, and also has the boon removal, which is even nicer. And I can't stress that. It's even nicer. And then with throw mine, it just being centered, you can do that for against 5 targets, and they'll have 1% damage increase. And you couple that with a nice AOE from rocket. That's an additional stack of vulnerability. But on top of it, that's a number of 5 targets with a 1500 yard radius that's just gonna decimate your targets in that area, especially with the burning it comes from if it procs off. And last but not least, supply crate. The reason why I went this, of course, is that oh no, they all went bye bye. Nah, that's not a big deal. I have 50% chance on what? Certain amount. I think 3 turrets exploding, so 3. Good chance at a lot of vulnerability as well as bleeding from the detonations. So you can't go wrong with that. And that's also the detonations also improve explosions from the 10%. So that's getting me more damage against your enemy. So it is totally worth it. Totally worth it. Go for the extreme. Melee for the win. Well, for now. Until X-Pac comes out. We can get our 2-handed hammer and we start crushing him skull in completely. And that would be totally worth it. But until now, this is for the now. Just remember, guys, this is a very squishy. Just always keep that in mind. If you're running into a jam, use healing turret, then use some gear shield, overcharge it, and just go crazy and just try to survive. When you're doing group attempts, group events, you want to use Rocket Turret, just for the sake is that we do have a healing effectiveness, and it's not that great without the traits, but for what it's this type trait system as well as the style it's going for, it works. It actually works greatly and nicely. Keep it healed, but also inflict vulnerability as well as chance of bleeding. So you can't really go wrong with it. You really can't. Alright, so remember guys, if you guys like this build, leave a like, subscribe, and comment below. And let me know how you guys like it. Like, seriously, let me know if I'm going the right direction. When X-Pac does come out, by the way, I will be producing a ton of videos. I mean, a ton. I cannot stress that enough, since the X-Pac is going to be offering new traits, new everything, and we're getting a two-handed hammer, as I said before. We're going to be smashing a lot of people in the face. Like, I cannot stress that enough. I cannot wait. I'm like a little schoolgirl right now. It's like, ooh, yay! Can't wait. Where is it? I want my stuff, man. Anyway, so alright, so just remember, you're pretty squishy, you're melee, and yeah, this is for those people like to find themselves and get out of the norm and try something new. And yeah, if it works for you, awesome. If it doesn't, I am very sorry. Alright, peace. I'll see you guys in the next chapter. Stay awesome.